Hello and welcome everyone to Dota 2 Canada Cup, but more importantly, NizCast.
5 seconds
and
remaining.
I'm Niz. Welcome. This is our third day of casting the Dota 2 Canada Cup. As our first 2 days,
Radiant team ban.
casted all but one game. We unfortunately weren't able to cast one of them, but we casted all but one game of Group A. And we're going to hopefully be able to cast all the games from Group B, well, at least half of them today and the other half tomorrow.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, coming out of Group A, we saw
5 seconds remaining.
Digital Chaos and the Elite Wolves advance. Top two teams in each group advance. And now we're starting Group B, so we've got all 3 games today. It's a bunch of unknowns, I said on Twitter. But yeah, we've got unknown featured in all 3 of our games today. They're going to start off by playing Team Leviathan, then they're going to play T-Show, and then they're going to play Pain Gaming.
5
and
seconds
then tomorrow we'll of course see Team Leviathan,
Radiant
Pain,
team
T-Show all square off against each other to conclude the group. So similar to how we actually started Group A, with Group A on the first day having all the games played by Digital Chaos. So yeah, Group B will be somewhat similar
10 seconds remaining.
in terms of structure.
5 seconds remaining.
But yeah, I got all the VODs up from
Radiant team
the cast through Group A, but for some reason, the final game I cast last night, the last 10 minutes or so are missing from the Twitch VOD, which means I couldn't export the whole game to YouTube, which was a little bit of a pain, and I'm not really sure why that happened. I was live and casting through it.
Remaining.
It didn't disconnect and reconnect or anything like that. I was live and it just
5 seconds
isn't there in the VOD. So I have no idea what happened. May contact Twitch support about it, but I guess if it's gone, it's gone right now. Not much we can do about that, but hopefully we won't have any issues like that moving forward.
Dire team pick.
But yeah, let's get into talking about this game. First of all, we've got one stand-in for Team Leviathan. That's going to be Justin. And I honestly have no idea who was... I had no idea until we got into this game who was even on Unknown right now. Because they've been going through some roster changes, but... yeah, unfortunately, I still really don't recognize too many of those names. The one name I do recognize is
5 seconds remaining.
going to be a stand-in, and that's Ritsu.
Reserve time.
And that does look like Ritsu. I'll actually...
Radiant
we'll drop out of this for a second, and... we'll see if... I don't know. Sorry, I'm not really sure what I was looking for there, but yeah, so that's Ritsu. This is actually Ritsu playing purple. But yeah, I don't really know too many of the players on Unknown, which is a bit surprising, but either way, we're going to see what they're going to be able to do. Obviously, they're ready to go here in the Dota 2 Canada Cup, and well, let's catch up in the draft and find out where we stand, as I already like one of their picks, actually 2 of their picks. We've got Shadow Fiend and Winter Wyvern banned out by Team Leviathan. Queen of Pain and Doom were the first 2 bans for Unknown. Then we had a Wisp and Ancient Apparition getting picked up by Leviathan. Darkseer and Alchemist were the picks for Unknown. Then our next set of bans, Night Stalker and Tusk for Leviathan. Gyrocopter and Windranger for Unknown. Then Unknown picked up the Crystal Maiden, the Crystal Lady, Let It Go. And now they're going to pick up a Bounty Hunter. Whereas Leviathan, they picked up the Tiny, so that'll mesh well with their Wisp pick. So they're going to have that Wisp Tiny combination, and then, well, we'll probably see that in the mid lane. And then they'll have the Ancient Apparition in the safe lane, babysitting whoever is there. But
10 seconds
we did see this Wisp Tiny combination already. We saw it played once in Group A, and They actually left the Tiny alone in mid, and they had the Wisp in the safe lane.
Reserve time.
Part of that was because it was a dual lane, 2v2 lane, and they had a Spirit Breaker and stuff, and it just kind of worked out better in the end, I guess, for that. But it was a very weird lane setup. But let's talk about the lanes for Unknown right now. We've got Darkseer, off lane, that's pretty simple. We've got Alchemist, mid or safe lane, don't know if they want to put that mid against the Tiny. They probably will, but we don't know 100% for sure yet. And then we've got Crystal Maiden and Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter, one of those heroes that likes to move around quite a bit. Crystal Maiden, one of those heroes that typically played a little bit more greedy. You like to see her in the jungle getting some levels, which, as a lane support, she doesn't really do terrifically well. So right now I'm seeing a potential weakness here
Radiant
on the
team
side of
back.
Unknown in terms of their supports and what they're going to be able to do early on, which is a little bit weird considering Bounty is a giant pain early on in a game, just constantly harassing. He's all over the place, but when it comes down to his effectiveness in a single lane,
10
it's going
seconds
to
remaining.
not be the strongest, and they're going to be going up against a Clockwork.
5 seconds
It'll be interesting to see if maybe Unknown goes for something like a Slark,
Reserve time.
a hero that they can easily leave against the Clockwork and feel pretty comfortable with that matchup. And it doesn't require too much of the Crystal Maiden to be there and doing too much work in the lane. She can probably pop in and out of the jungle and threaten the offlaner, threaten the Clockwork.
10 seconds remaining.
That's definitely a really strong possibility, but
5
have a feeling
seconds
Leviathan
remaining.
will probably ban that out. Unknown actually banning out the
Dire
Juggernaut,
team ban.
as Leviathan's also looking for a safe lane. Juggernaut, one of those heroes that is typically picked up to go up against a Darkseer. Healing ward, pretty damn
5
good.
seconds remaining.
Keeping your HP up, but also spin quite good at bringing down those creep waves.
Reserve time.
There's 3 heroes that really excel against the Darkseer. Juggernaut's one of them. Doom's another one. And Gyrocopter. Those are like the 3 carries that do pretty well against a Darkseer. Or at least dealing with the Darkseer. Then you start getting into some of your range carries and they start doing a little bit better. But yeah, in terms of like the 3, I guess, most relevant to the current meta heroes, those are going to be the 3 that really stand out. Team Leviathan using a bunch of their reserve time here to make sure that
10 seconds
they
remaining.
get this ban proper. And they're going to ban out the
Radiant team
Templar
pick.
Assassin. So they're not at all convinced that this Alchemist is mid. And, well, they were right. The Alchemist is going to be safe
Dire
lane.
team pick.
Actually, we still don't know that. Because they could, like I said, if they pick up something like a Slark, it's something that they can leave to go up against the Clockwork solo and not have to worry about a damn thing. Viper's one of those heroes, and Viper will do better than the Alchemist against the Clockwork in terms of being able to sustain himself in the lane and shut down that Clockwork. So I think we may actually still see the Alchemist mid
10
and the Viper
seconds
safe
remaining.
lane. But we'll have to see exactly what
5 seconds
Leviathan
remaining.
is going to pick up as their final pick here. Because that may
Reserve
kind of
time.
change things.
5 seconds remaining.
We're going to go with the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit, one of those heroes that's going to give you a little bit more lockdown. One of the heroes that Justin actually plays quite well. But, yeah, it's going to give you a little bit more lockdown and help you potentially kill a Darkseer early on. You already have an Ancient Apparition, so you've got slows, but slows aren't really going to do anything when he's got Surge. So Ember Spirit will help a little bit with those Searing Chains, being able to lock that target down. But still, it's not the best at being able to kill a Darkseer, but you get the Flame Guard, so you'll be able to tank a little bit of the Ion Shell damage as well. So a good strong
10
pick there.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
We just wait for the final two players to choose their heroes. And there we go. We're starting off Group B. Let's introduce who we've got on either side. On the Radiant side is going to be Team Unknown. We got Zifri playing the Bounty Hunter. We have Umaru-chan playing the Alchemist. Ritsu is playing the Viper. Serengei, I think that's it, playing the Crystal Maiden. And Greedy Babe is going to be playing the Darkseer. For Team Leviathan, we've got Flying Zebra playing the Wisp or Isle, whatever you want to call it. Shibby is going to be playing the Tiny. We got Nusham playing the Ancient Apparition. Justin, the stand-in, is going to be playing the Ember Spirit. And Jenkins is, of course, going to be playing the Offlane Clockwork. And we've got Bounty Hunter Invis on top of the Wisp Tiny, so
30
he
seconds
knows exactly where they are. But unfortunately, his Windwalk just wore off there, so they ended up seeing him. They ended up seeing his items and all that, but not the most important stuff in the world. Leviathan taking the opportunity to go and place a lane ward. And now they've spotted many heroes in the top lane, so Leviathan looks like they're going to have a firm grasp on the top rune.
The battle
Whereas
begins.
Unknown's going to get the bottom, and that's going to be a free rune for the Alchemist. Is the Bounty Hunter already preparing himself to snipe the Courier in the event that it were to move out here? I don't think we're going to see a Courier come out just yet, as he did get a glance at both these heroes' items, so he should know that neither hero is going to be able to get a bottle anytime soon. And now he's going to back away. I think now he just actually saw it. And as his stealth wore off, as he was coming up here, he actually was in vision of that tower. So they did see him. They know that he's there. And he was pinged out. And now, look, he's getting pinged out again. They know exactly where he is based on his movement. And now he's going to come down here and help out the Alchemist a little bit. No chance of a Courier snipe. In fact, the Courier is actually making its way. Imagine that's making its way to... Okay, it is making its way to Shibby in the mid lane. It's taking a little bit of a roundabout way of getting there, as they know that the Bounty Hunter's on the right or the bottom side of mid, or the map. If you were to divide the map in half with the mid lane, he's on the bottom side. They know that, so they brought it through the top. And on the way back, though, they didn't care too much about it because he had just shown in the bottom lane, and he's still making his rotation through the Radiant jungle. So they know they're all right there. But let's take a quick look at what our lanes actually are, as we've got Gyrocopter, close enough, Clockwork. He's close enough, a little bit different heroes, but similar theme, I guess. We've got Clockwork in the off lane. He's going to be going up against an Alchemist and a Crystal Maiden. You got CM trying to do a little bit of counter warding. He actually found one of the sentry wards, but didn't have the tree knocked down to be able to see it. One of the things that you'd like to see is when your safe lane carry picks up a Quelling Blade, to chop the trees related to doing the counter warding, so that it's easy for your support and they don't have to blow through tangos to do so. But not doing so this game, and in the end actually missing a sentry ward there. It's going to time out anyway soon, but the bigger issue is the fact that the sentry ward didn't catch the observer ward that was still on the spawn box as well. As for our other lanes, in the top lane, it's going to be the Ember Spirit and the Ancient Apparition going up against the Darkseer, and the Bounty Hunters up here just kind of moving around as we expected him to do so. Mid lane, it's going to be the Viper going up against the Tiny and the Wisp. Wisp doing a little bit of stacking right now for his team. Assuming that those stacks are going to be for Tiny. And look at this, Bounty Hunter getting caught out as Nushan got him with the Sentry Ward. And they drop that, lock him down in place, and then kill him. And that's going to be our first blood of the game. Not really the most eventful one. It was pretty straightforward. Bounty Hunter just kind of doing some harass with the Ion Shell and getting caught out. I'll TP back to the mid lane, and we've got an Alchemist already finishing. Oh, okay. Wow, they do still get it. I didn't think there was going to be enough damage there, but I completely underestimated that. There was the uphill misses, but after that, that right click from Ritsu doing a lot more damage than I expected, and that's partly because of Viper's Nether Toxin. But wow, yeah, that was quite a bit of damage. So Ritsu getting a kill in the mid lane, not a solo kill. He had some help from the Bounty Hunter there, but we did just have an armlet getting picked up by Alchemist. Apparently 3.5 minute armlet's pretty good. Jeez, this hero farms so fast. This Darkseer greedy, Babe being quite greedy in the top lane, and it's paying off well for him. Sitting at 14 CS already, level 4.5. Of course, he is only going up against a dual lane, and it's an Ancient Apparition Ember Spirit, so he can actually be quite greedy in that lane. There's not a whole lot of ways for them to punish you. But we did see, if they do lock you down and they're able to get on top of you, they can kill you quickly, as we saw the Bounty Hunter go down. Bounty actually getting an illusion rune and using it to scout out the stack that Flying Zebra's been working on. Courier's actually going to bring in Flying Zebra's bottle. So he'll use that to... well, he can use that to get Shibby's health up. But, so now we're going to this is actually a really good good use of this. We've got an Invis Bounty Hunter who can then go and stand inside the stack while Invis with the Ion Shell, and then Greedy Babe can also kind of skirt around the stack as it kind of pulls out and resets and goes back, and they're going to be able to steal the stack from Team Leviathan. And Leviathan have to know that this is happening. With the Darkseer nowhere near top, there hasn't been an Ion Shell, so they know that that Darkseer is somewhere. Whether or not they thought they sent him to base, I don't think so, as he had more than enough HP and mana to be up there. So good little play there from Unknown, recognizing the fact that this Wisp had been stacking there, and then taking advantage of the fact that there's really no way for Leviathan to defend that kind of play right now. And Shimmy's going to get opened up on here, and he's going to go down. They almost get the kill, or he almost gets the kill on the Bounty Hunter. But no, Bounty Hunter able to get away. Ritsu will get the kill. That was Flying Zebra going down to the bottom rune. He did get the Bounty rune and bottled it up for him, but that left his Tiny vulnerable in the mid lane, and we saw a rotation from Unknown work out quite well for them. They did have a haste on the Darkseer, but he actually didn't pop it until after, I think. I don't even think he used it in the gank. I think he actually popped it after the gank to get away.
Coming in.
Meanwhile, so let's check on our other offlaner here as Clockwork, Jenkins. He's getting close to hitting 6, just over 100 XP. In fact, it will be just about 100, so 108 XP here for the Clockwork before he hits level 6. Selecting to go with the 3 points in the Rocket Flare build. So he won't have the biggest kill potential early on. You want more points in Battery Assault if you want to be able to get some solo kills.
Flares here.
Jenkins, aware that there's going to potentially be a rotation from this Crystal Maiden on him, and throwing a flare off to the side. It will spot out to see him coming on in, but the Bounty's already standing on top of him, and, well, Orb of Venom slow on the Clockwork means he wasn't going to be able to get out of range from the Crystal Maiden. Cogs weren't really going to help him either. So another kill goes the way of Unknown, as this Alchemist continues to free farm, but that's kind of expected for a safe lane Alchemist. Still has his armlet. What has he got flying in on the Courier?
Tower is under attack.
It's going to be a Maelstrom for him, or the majority of a Maelstrom. He's still going to have to buy the the gloves of haste at the side
Radiant's
shop
top
here.
tower is under attack.
He's getting pretty close to that gold, so. Let's take a look at Darkseer, how he's doing. He's level 6.5.
Dire's middle tower is under
Justin,
attack.
of course, also free
Radiant's
farming in
top
his
tower
lane,
is under
as
attack.
he's only 2 CS behind the Alchemist, 3 CS now. We've got 60 and 27 on the Alchemist versus 57 and 23 on the Ember Spirit. So both safe lane carries, just free farming away,
Dire's middle
as
tower
expected.
is
Then
under
in the mid
attack.
lane, we've got Ritsu doing
Radiant's top tower is under
some
attack.
work. 54 and 24 on this Viper. Tiny struggling a little bit, 24 and 1. But you don't really expect Tiny to get a ton of CS going up against Viper in the mid lane, even with the fact that there was 2 heroes here. He's going to get a nice stun toss off onto Ritsu. Flying Zebra is going to use the tether there to slow him down in range of the tower. He's even going to drop that efficiency. He even drops an item mid-fight there to pop his stick. And it actually ends up in a turnaround as both the Darkseer and the Bounty Hunter show up to the party as Wisp goes down. Ice Blast is going to fly in as AA has just hit 6. And that's going to potentially stop them from pushing as Flare also flies in, hits Zephyr here, but I don't think he's going to take out. He's going to have more than enough HP. He's going to go down to about 136 HP. But still quite a ways away from shattering. He needs to be at, well, 62, 63 HP for him to shatter there. So he still had quite a ways to go there. Maelstrom is finished on the Alk. He's up to another 1,500 gold. And so we had a buckler picked up by Ritsu already. Now he's going to complete a Vanguard. We saw him with the Vitality booster as well as the buckler. I didn't really point that out, but I think what happened is he was starting to build a mech, and then they quickly realized that they've got a Darkseer who's also going to be building a mech, as he's got his buckler and a headdress as well. So Ritsu, recognizing that he's going to need one of those items to tank up. Typically the mech is actually the better alternative between the two. It gives you more effective HP than the Vanguard. But I hear like Viper doesn't really have the mana pool to really mess with a mech. And he can do it. He certainly can do it. It's a viable build for him. But if you get a hero like Darkseer, where mech is basically core, it's definitely much better having a mech on Darkseer than a Vanguard on Darkseer and then a mech on the Viper. That's definitely the better alternative. So Ritsu going with the Vanguard gives him a little bit less effective HP, but it's very, very close for the Viper, and it makes his mana pool a lot more manageable.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Shibby and Flying Zebra coming up here trying to take some of the stacks that have been stacked up here by Flying Zebra. And they're going to get this one not as big as the stack could have potentially been because of that steal from Unknown earlier on in the game. This will put Shivy up to 2,100, so he's about 120 gold now away from his Blink Dagger. Bounty Hunter continues to just be stealthy, and actually we're going to get a kill in the bottom lane as the Alk and the CM combined for a kill on the Ancient Apparition. They're going to try to go for a kill here on the Clockwork, but he drops the cogs and TP's on out, recognizing the fact that there was no freeze or stun coming out from the Alchemist. Alk actually going with the Blink Dagger, so he's already picked that up. And we saw some action there in the top as both heroes, Flying Zebra and Shibby, having to run back to Fountain there. Nusham just respawning, has picked up a Hand of Midas recipe, doesn't have boots or anything like that, just straight into Hand of Midas. He's electing to go with the Cold Feet and Chilling Touch build. No points in Ice Vortex yet. There's Unknown off to a pretty damn good start, sitting at 5-1 right now. And this Alchemist is going to become an issue for Leviathan, as he just continues to farm away. Now picking up a Yasha, or at least he's got one in his stash. He hasn't actually got it to his hero just yet. Darkseer 10 gold away from completing his mech. Crimson Guard already finished on the Viper.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now
Radiant
Tranquil's on the CM.
structures are fortified.
So a lot of the big core items coming out
Dire's top tower has fallen.
for the heroes, or at least the early game core items coming out for the heroes on
Radiant's
Unknown.
bottom tower
And, I
is
actually
under
thought that
attack.
blink was going towards the heroes, and we were going to see a team fight there, but not the
There he
case.
goes.
The heroes from Leviathan have evacuated the mid lane. They're heading bottom, and they want to go for the bottom lane. Bottom
Radiant's
tier 1
bottom
tower,
tower
but they've
is
got a
under
bounty
attack.
hunter stalking them, as he's already drawn on the map and
And
indicated
it's off.
that there's going to be a push. And he's also spotted out this remnant where Ember's going to potentially use that to jump down here, and it's been pinged out. But
Radiant's bottom tower
he's not going to
has
have to
fallen.
jump down here and help his team out, as they've gotten the tower. It looks like they're going to get out of here safely. Track is going to come out from the bounty hunter, but it's not going to be enough to get Ritsu in range to get
Invisibility.
any slows off on the closest hero, which was actually a Wisp anyways. So he could just tether away. In fact, I actually think he had tether up there. And wow, the Alchemist. I saw him kind of going in from the side there, but he actually found a kill on the Wisp. I was thinking that he wasn't going to jump, but apparently he did. So getting that kill on the Wisp, despite the fact that he was in the middle of
Dire's bottom
basically
tower
all
is
the
under
heroes on
attack.
Team Leviathan. And with that pick off, they're going to be able to go for a tier 1 here. Ancient Apparition, Ice Blast going to fly in. It will hit the Alchemist. Hook shot coming out from Jenkins, but just barely, not going to latch onto the Darkseer there. Justin jumping down here will find the Bounty Hunter, but he won't be able to get to him. He gets slowed down, and now Unknown. They're on the offensive as they're going to dive past the tower. They're going to get the kill onto Jenkins. We're going to have a wall of Replicate going down. It only creates a Replicate of Ritsu.
Dire's bottom
Or, sorry,
tower is under attack.
That's on Ritsu's team. He was the only one in it. It was
Dire's
Tiny,
bottom
sorry.
tower has
I
fallen.
was the only one in it. First game of the night, guys. First game of the night. I'm still
Radiant's
waking up. I
middle
had a little bit of a
tower is
nap.
under attack.
I'm still waking up.
Dire's
Calling things a
bottom
little bit
tower
wrong,
is under
but
attack.
Unknown
Dire's
getting their
structures are
first
fortified.
first tower in the bottom lane there, and now they're going to go for a tier 2 here. But definitely winning out on that team fight, despite the fact that at least the team fight that I was watching, they were trying to catch a wall of Replicate on their own heroes. I don't even know if there's an emote for that. Definitely not T-Tours. I guess that's a fail fish. But we're going to have an engage here from the Alchemist. They're going to blow up Justin so quickly. He was not ready for that. Now they're going to try to go for Jenkins. Cogs are down, but it's already pushed enough heroes that it's not really going to push any of the heroes advancing forward. Jenkins is going to go down. So is Nusham. Ritsu now hiding into the trees is going to be able to escape possible death there, and then oh no, the remaining heroes on Leviathan are both stunned up. Justin's gonna go down again as this Alchemist now triple kill for him, as he is. I mean, I guess he was an issue. Now he's just, I don't even know what to call it. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to do anything about this Alch at this stage. He's sitting at 8-0-1, 16 minutes into the game. He's had free farm. He's got his S&Y up. He's got something flying in on the courier. What is this? Boots of Travel? Yeah, Boots of Travel for the Alchemist. We've got a Yasha flying in as well. 2 bracers for the Crystal Maiden, getting that HP up, because it looks like they're going to be fine with just going and fighting more. Their Alch's got the fighting build. Ritsu's looking pretty fighty as well, as he's got his Crimson Guard and that Yasha. So this is their time to shine.
Dire's middle tower
You'd like
is
to
under
see maybe a
attack.
little bit more time for the Darkseer to get some of his core items. His Blink Dagger is really the only one that he needs going forward from here, but Guardian Greaves are nice as well. But he's already sitting at 1,700 gold, so that Blink Dagger is not that far out. And with that, they're pretty much going to have everything, and we're going to have a stun come out from the Alch, but it's on Tiny, and Tiny able to get well back. But this is Unknown, just capitalizing on the fact that Leviathan, they've got a weak part in their game right now. They've got an Ember Spirit, which, yes, he has Boots of Travel, but he doesn't have a Battle Fury. He's not able to fight right now. He's quite weak at this stage in the game in terms of team fighting. He's great in 1v1 conflicts, but beyond that, he doesn't really do much of anything. Ancient Apparition, going with the standard Midas build is
Radiant's
also
top tower has been
not the
denied.
strongest hero in terms of fighting. Yes, he's great for an Ice Blast, but you still need some time before you get the Aghanim Scepter up, before that Ice Blast is super valuable. It is a little bit extra valuable against an Alchemist. You're going to find a pick-off here on Tiny, who is, again, another one of those heroes that, yeah, Tiny can combo some heroes and blow some up if he gets on Crystal Maiden or Bounty Hunter. But beyond that, he's not really going to be able to blow up any of the heroes here on Unknown. He needs a lot of help from his teammates to do so. And even if he does combo someone, if Darkseer is there with the mech, they're not going to drop. So it's just a difficult time for Leviathan to really take some of these fights. But going forward, they're definitely going to be strong. And also with Unknown grouping up and fighting Leviathan like this, it completely takes the ability to relocate the Wisp Tiny out of the equation. Stun getting channeled from Alk, but he probably could have blinked forward and tried to throw it there, but if he blinks forward and still doesn't get in range and doesn't get the toss off, then he ends up stunning himself in a very vulnerable position. We're going to see a pick-off here as the Wisp relocate does find a target, and it is going to be the Darkseer who buys back, but it's going to cost Chibi his life before the relocate brings him back to safety. And that's a godlike streak for the Alchemist. We had a buyback on the Darkseer as he's going to come back into the fray. And look at this. The Bounty Hunter getting solo kills. 1v3 manages to bring down the Ancient Apparition. This will cost him his life. But meanwhile, his team was, well, they were doing Roche's. They finished him off, and the Aegis has gone on to the Viper. With the buyback on the Darkseer, Alk continues to just run over this Leviathan squad. Getting kill after kill after kill. That's his 10th of the game. Darkseer with that buyback, he actually had purchased a Glimmer Cape before he died and bought back. So I like him to go that route, not going for the Blink Dagger. He is going to drop here, so it is going to be, I guess, a dieback for him. He's going to have the increased respawn timer. Ritsu's also going to get picked off here. He has the Aegis. This was a pretty good pick-off for Leviathan. I don't think they're going to be able to kill the Viper once again. In fact, Ritsu actually going forward with this, not backing, as he's got a little bit of reinforcements from his Alchemist. He will get frozen up by the cold feet. Alk going to stun. He's going to blink forward. He's going to throw the stun onto Jenkins. A little bit too deep for them to want to go there. So now Unknown, they're still skirting around the outside of the Leviathan base, trying to break it. They've got that tier 3 in the bottom lane down to about half HP. So it's not going to be this push yet, as Bounty's going to fly in his Blink Dagger. He's already got a 4-staff as well, as every hero on this Unknown team just has a ton of items. We've got that double bracer on the Crystal Maiden. Tranquils, 1900 gold as well. Tranquils are on the ground right now. But yeah, she's probably the poorest on this team. We've almost got a Manta finished by the Viper. They're got a Hyperstone picked up by the Alchemist. Probably going to complete that into a Mjolnir with the Maelstrom, which will free up a slot for him to build towards his next item. As we mentioned, we got the Glimmer Cape on the Darkseer. And Unknown
Dire's top tower is under
in a
attack.
pretty prime position to take this game, as Leviathan. Well, let's look around. Let's see if they've got anything coming anytime soon. We've got the Blink already up on
Radiant's
Tiny,
middle
but
tower is
in
under
terms of
attack.
his ability to fight, is a long way out from
Radiant
getting an
structures
Aghanim
are
Scepter
fortified.
to provide any right-click damage for this team. Wisp, well, he's not really going to get any item pickups that's going to make him a
Radiant's
ton
middle
stronger.
tower has fallen.
We've getting very close, actually. He actually, sorry, he has all the components, Justin, to complete his Battle Fury. He'll TP back to base and pick that up now. Jenkins, just Tranquils on the Clockwork for him. Just that Midas on the Ancient Apparition. And that's
Dire's
going to
top
do it
tower
for everyone
is
on the
under
side
attack.
of Leviathan. This is their stand. This is where they've got to try and stop this push from Unknown. As the Crystal Maiden also picked up her Blink Dagger as well. And it looks like they've stopped this wave of push at least. And Crystal Maiden actually going to TP down. Sorry, not Crystal Maiden. It's Sorry, I was selected on Crystal Maiden. The Alchemist going to TP down to the bottom lane, getting some farms. So, not this push, not yet. As Unknown, probably going to wait for a pick-off here. Or Roche is going to be quite a ways out, so I imagine they're going to look for a gank and then try to push on the back of it. But Leviathan, they're going to smoke up and look for a gank of their own. And oh my. Bounty Hunter just kind of hanging out by the secret shop. But there was an Observer Ward and a Sentry Ward there, so Leviathan able to see him. And that means that's going to be an easy pick-off for Leviathan. And they'll take that. It's not a ton of gold for them. Actually, 900 gold swing, but it is gold in their pocket. A pick-off means that Unknowns, well, not getting a pick-off of their own, but also not going to be able to push down 4v5. Alchemist on himself here as Justin leapt back to a Remnant there. As we bring up the net worth, and, well, that's no surprise. It's been Unknown all game long, as they've passed a 20k gold lead, and they're very close to 25k gold lead. XP is also a 10k lead for them. They're quite a bit ahead in this game. But there are some things potentially coming. We do have that Battle Fury on the Ember Spirit. Shibi, well, it's still going to take a while. It's going to be another 1800 gold before he's going to have his Aghanims. And not saving for a buyback, buying that Ogre Club. As it looks like Unknown, they're gonna try to push bottom here. We're gonna have Rocket fly in. And are we gonna have a sentry go down if they try to push uphill here? Yeah, we're gonna have a sentry get placed there. And if you're wondering why Unknown would place a sentry going up against Leviathan in this team fight, it's one, to see any sentries coming out from Leviathan, but more importantly, you want to try and see the Ice Blast coming out from Ancient Apparition. As we've got the fight starting here. I'll have to explain that in just a second. As, oh, nice vacuum, but Alchemist done a little bit late there, but they still are going to get the pick off on the Ancient Apparition. Wisp going to go down as well, as the racks are getting chopped to pieces by this Alchemist. As Leviathan just not able to defend, their supports just got completely run over.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
And that first set of racks is going to go down. But going back to the point I was making about Ancient Apparition, when Ancient Apparition throws out his Ice Blast, the initial release flying in, before he actually triggers it and throws the other one out, you actually can see that first. I don't even think it even says it in here. I just skimmed through that. I didn't actually read the whole thing. But I don't think it actually says it. But the initial blast, this thing right here that's coming out, you can actually see that with detection. So a gem or a sentry ward down helps you dodge the Ice Blast that's going to be coming in. And that's pretty valuable when you've got an Alchemist on your team. If he can dodge the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast, that means he's going to have full access to his regen in the team fight, and then he's going to be much, much harder to kill. So expect them to keep dropping those sentries in the team fights. We're going to have a Butterfly picked up by an Alchemist. Not exactly one of the more standard items that we see Alchemists pick up, but look what he's going up against. He's going up against a Tiny, who's struggling, who's still working on his Aghanims. In fact, he just completed it now. An Ember Spirit, which neither of these heroes like to get MKBs. Yeah, Ember Spirit, I guess, has the farm that he could be working towards one, but he's only 900 gold in. Tiny not actually that far behind him if they were both going for MKBs right now. But either way, they are both a long ways out from getting an MKB, so they're not going to be able to have that True Strike to be able to hit through the evasion on the Alchemist. So good pickup there from Alk. Again, another just kind of taking advantage of a weakness that Leviathan has right now. And it's going to be very difficult for them to do anything to this Alk, as Alk will blink forward. He'll look for a stun target, but he'll find one, but it's himself.
Tower is under attack.
Leviathan has no chance of jumping on that. Justin doing a good job here, taking advantage of the fact that he can just snake past the lane and wipe out the creep wave. But they already have one creep wave coming down the lane, so it's not going to be until after this creep wave that there's not going to be reinforcements.
Are under attack.
Oh, nice vacuum wall. Is there a stun on the back of it? There it comes out. They're going to lose the Ancient Apparition first. Jenkins is going to go down on the Clockwork. The CM was letting it go. We're going to have Justin with the Sleight of Fist doing some damage, but there's really no way that Leviathan can fight. And they haven't really committed to these fights either. We haven't seen them really go for a team fight. It's just been, okay, you're taking our racks. Now we lost a couple heroes. Now let's back up because we can't fight. We lost those heroes. Now we lose our racks. Now we lose our Tiny. We lost our Wisp. We're going to lose our Ember. Oh, never mind. He's able to jump away. But it is going to be the game here as the tier 3s are now. The last tier 3 is going to go down. And GG well played will get called here. As Unknown takes their first game of the day. Leviathan loses their only game of the day. But we will see 2 more games from Unknown today. And we'll get to see 2 games from Leviathan tomorrow. But that's going to be it for our first game of the night. As we've got Unknown and T-Show coming up next. But impressive performance from Unknown. Leviathan looked a little weak there, but honestly, props to Unknown. They played quite well in that game. They did everything that they needed to do. They had a strong draft, and they recognized weaknesses of Leviathan throughout the game. They recognized where they were strong and where Leviathan was weak, and they shot right for that vulnerability and just rolled with it. And look at these scores right now. 12-0 and 6 on the Alchemist, 6-0 and 10 on the Viper, Darkseer 2-2 and 11, but quite farmed. Bounty Hunter even 4-4 and 9. CM only 1 death, 1-1 and 12. Everyone on Unknown had a pretty damn good record, and Alk actually breaking the 1,000 GPM barrier, 1,014 gold per minute. Impressive stuff from Unknown. As they'll continue to, they will look to continue that kind of performance in their games tonight. But that's going to be it for this one. Once again, guys, I was Niz. You're watching NizCast. If you did enjoy the cast, hit that follow button on twitch.tv. I'm going to be casting every single game in the Dota 2 Canada Cup, unless my voice just completely gives out on me at some point. But we're gonna go for as long as we possibly can. But if you do miss any of the games, I will be uploading them on my YouTube channel, where all my VODs are, at youtube.com/NizCast. And beyond that, I've got a Twitter at NizCast, so you can go follow that if you want. But the most important moment of our night is the trivia question before we go to break. So what's our trivia question? Well, we do have another sports one. So here it is. Well, we all know how people like to contest whether Canada or the U.S. invented basketball. We know it was James Naismith, and he was a Canadian. Whether or not he invented it in Canada and then moved to the U.S. or invented it in the U.S. while he was teaching at the University of Kansas. We do know that he definitely refined the game there. And eventually, down the line, the NBA was started. So my question to you is, the first NBA game of all time. Who, what, where, when? Who played in it? Where was it held? Both city and venue. Who played in it? I think I might have already said that. When was it played? And yeah, I guess we'll only leave it there. I've got a bunch more information on that, but yeah, we'll leave that as our question. So first game of the NBA, where was it? Who played? When was it? We'll leave that as our trivia question. But we'll be back in, well, it's about 20 minutes until our next game is going to start. So I'll be hanging out in the chat, and yeah, we'll see you guys back in about 20 minutes.